All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is the CSRN weekly podcast, or we call it our weekend review, where we talk about the things that we've done last week, the things that we got working on right now, and some of the things that we've got coming up in the future. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to put a 5-minute timer on the podcast, give everybody an opportunity to join on in. Let's get that timer up. And also hope everybody had an awesome weekend. We got a couple of things that we're going to be reporting out about tonight. Number one, Dr. Umar was in town last week. Got a chance to check that out. We had Black Lido, got a chance to be there, and a couple other things that's going on. Got a couple of guests that may drop in either in person or virtual. You know, it's all good. So, hey, let's get that timer up. Let's see if we get some music going on while everybody's waiting. All right, it looks like we're back. We're back. I want to welcome everyone to the CSRN Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo. This is our weekly podcast. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. Um, 7 years ago, they had an idea that just anybody can speak up and speak out for our people. So what they did, they came up with a concept called Community Solidarity Day. And they wanted to address police brutality, community safety, and they didn't want it to come from a political perspective or religious perspective. Later on, they asked me if I could help plan and organize a couple of the events. We had our initial protest at, where was that at? It was at Lucas County Courthouse, and that was when Michael Brown, the killer, wasn't indicted. And ever since then, we've been meeting at libraries, community centers. We met at the Muhammad Mosque 91. And we're keeping it going, so I'm glad that you're here. Um, and today, what do I have on? I have on my brown glasses. I got a clean shave this week. Well, really, every week I do. I have on a light blue shirt that has Dragon Ball Z on it. And a lot of people looked at it today and said, hey, what's up, Brother Washington? Well, this is in honor of Joshua Brown. Back in 2019, this brother was a witness to Amber Geiger. She had murdered both of them, Jean, walking into his apartment and shooting him, saying that she went to the wrong apartment. And when the brother um, witness was a witness in court, this is the shirt that he wore. So I'm wearing this shirt, commemorating that brother, that fallen soldier. Just so happened a couple of weeks after he had testified against the police officer, he was gunned down in in the parking lot of his apartment. So I wore this shirt today in solidarity of my brother Joshua Brown. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. Well, it seems like I'm the only one here today. We weren't able to get Julian, Jody. He's going to be logging on later on, and Ruth. So today, hey, I'm in the big boy seat by myself. So hopefully some of the things that we talk about will enlighten you regarding some of the events that we attended and supported. One of the things that I want to do first is read our mission statement. Being a grassroots organization, sometimes we just start something because we see a need. However, a mission statement helps to guide and keep us rooted. So I'm going to read our mission statement. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and read our guiding principles. Then we're going to get right on into our podcast, talking about Dr. Umar coming to town and also talking about Black Lido. So this is our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, the Ferguson, Missouri police officer Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community-based events and help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politicians, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, class, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That last quote is from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. And listen, I'm glad that you're here. What we're going to do right now, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and read our guiding principles. So stay tuned. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network in Toledo. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. This is our weekly podcast. Uh, After 2020, when the pandemic hit, we were having meetings in public, and that was at the Padua Center. So if anyone has received our flyers, let's say that we have a meeting every Tuesday at 6 p.m. at 1416 Nebraska. Well, since the pandemic, we've been meeting virtually. We look to get back to meeting in person. However, right now we stream from Knott Branch Library every week. Feel free to come in and view the podcast live. Maybe have some questions or comments afterward. Maybe even meet some of the members of CSRN. Hey, it is what it is. These are our guiding principles. We adopted our CSRN guiding principles in 2015 at the Movement for Black Lives. This was a convention organized by young people under the age of 30. It was a dynamic convention, and we learned a lot. I learned a lot about organizing, and I learned a lot about Black people. These are our guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter. The creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe. And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes the thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist, think beyond the possible. Ashe. Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe. Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe. Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe. Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe. 360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe. Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe. The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe. Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe. Hey, family, what we're going to do, those are our guiding principles, and those are the things that keep us together. There's no sense of having man, any type of organizing effort without some principles that will keep us somewhat in line from misusing, mishandling each other. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with our Black August tribute. Then we're going to get right on into talking about and processing some of the events that we had last week, and particularly Black Lido. I got to say that right. Black Lido and Dr. Umar coming to town. This is the CSRN Week in Review. We'll be right back.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. The program has fatherhood classes which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
Shout out to Brothers United, man.
All right, we are back. That was odd. Hey, we are back. This is the CSRN Week in Review. It's a podcast where we come to you every week. It used to be in person, but we're moving forward to start having our meetings in person again, where we can come together and plan for whatever it is. If it's a political forum, if it's protest awareness activity, if it's um, anything that we're used to planning. Hey, look, while I'm here, just a little bit about me. I think that I became aware of social justice issues maybe back in 1991. I became a member of the Nation of Islam. So many have seen me on the corner with the Final Call newspaper. We've got an ad or a short commercial about the Final Call that will be running soon. So shout out to our technical team that definitely have us together today and got me together too. And yeah, I really enjoyed being out there with the Final Call. And I'm glad that the brothers are out with the paper again. We were out yesterday. During the pandemic, the Final Call newspaper was shut down. The only way you could get the Final Call newspaper was that you had to get it digitally. And then maybe last year, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan restarted our physical paper. So we're back out there again. So shout out to all the other brothers from the Nation of Islam and the FOI, our supporters and the sisters that make sure those papers are at some really great spots. And if you ever want to get a physical Final Call newspaper, you can stop by Powell's, your community market, Yummy's, and where else? Oh, Bobby Howard's, right there on Indiana and Hawley. Usually they're sitting on the corner or on the ledge, just like the Journal. So just walk on in and say, "Hey, look, Brother Washington said I can have a paper." So go ahead, take it, pass it on. What I want to do right now, before we get to the breakdown of Black Lido, the breakdown of Dr. Umar coming to town at Greater New Psalmist Church, and also Black August. We had a Black August page take over with our brother Cecil Holston III. He is a registered clinician. I hope I got that right. If I didn't, brother, you already know. But the brother is certified to do what he does, and he does a great job. And during Black August, we allow professionals and others take over our page for a whole day and post everything that they could possibly post about their job. Our first week, we had Sister Yvette Muhammad from the Nation of Islam take over our page, and she shared a lot about the sisters in the Nation of Islam. A lot of people have never heard of Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Minister Farrakhan, Brother Washington Muhammad, but you hardly ever hear about the sisters. And what's up with that? Well, the sisters are strong. However, we had Sister Yvette on our first week to talk about that. You can scroll through our page and find a lot of things that she shared about what the sisters do in the Nation of Islam and how they are a vital part of the Nation of Islam. Matter of fact, back in the 50s, back in the 40s when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was in prison for draft dodging, even though he was too old to be drafted, um, the sisters took over the Nation of Islam from the time he was incarcerated to the time that he was released. And then in the 50s, he was incarcerated because we established our own schools and we refused to send our children to their schools. And he was incarcerated for that. And at that point, the sisters were in charge of the Nation of Islam. So those little known Black history facts. So what I want to do right now to commemorate Black August, we got our Black August statement that we want to read for everyone. Let's get that on the board. Ooh, why is it right there in front of my face? Well, hey, it is what it is. This is our Black August commemoration. We commemorate Black August in a time of collective grief, clarity, rage, and rebellion. Mighty waves of popular uprisings against the ravages of white supremacy and anti-Black racism are flooding the streets, rising within and outside of prison walls, and reverberating through communities and institutions. Upon centuries of enslavement and subjugation exists an intolerable present where the state continues to wield violent force against Black people in the forms of mass criminalization and incarceration, repression, and militarized police brutality, and willful neglect and discrimination, only amplified in the face of a deadly pandemic. And so, Black people resist, first to survive, like generations of ancestors before, to fundamentally alter our collective condition and make freedom real. This is the legacy of Black August. Black August began in the 1970s to mark the assassination of the imprisoned Black Panther author and revolutionary George Jackson during a prison rebellion in California. It's a time of reverence to honor political prisoners, freedom fighters, and martyrs of the Black freedom struggle. This month, we celebrate all the political prisoners who have helped us understand that prison is political and that our collective freedom depends on abolishing the state's capacity through incarceration, policing, and surveillance to disrupt communities and diminish principal struggle against the unjust status quo. This month is also rich in the history of Black resistance outside, from the Haitian Revolution to the Watts Rebellion, the Ferguson Uprising, and for Toledo, the May 2020 CSRN-led Toledo Police Accountability Rally. Black August is a reminder of the power and unity and the mandate to continue joint struggle. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our change. That is a celebration of Black August. And this month, as I said before, first we had Sister Yvette Muhammad, and then we had Brother Cecil Hoskins. Let me bring up this page if I can. I'll bring up this Community Solidarity page where he had posted some tips regarding mental health within our community. Sometimes that could be taboo to talk about mental health and wellness. And Brother Cecil did an excellent job. Let's see if we have that shared. Let's share it on the screen. Right. Yeah, let's share it on the screen there. Let me just scroll through some of the things that he had posted. He had posted about trauma and what traumatic responses can look like. He had posted feeling responsible for others' happiness, craving control, saying yes because you're scared of losing security. He had a lot of things posted regarding that, what can trigger your trauma, what unhealed trauma can look like. Once again, the traumatic responses. So this brother did an excellent job. As we scroll down, he talked about the cycle of depression. Let's bring that up on the screen again. Cycle of depression, the struggle living with depression, hidden traits of depression. My brother Cecil also posted about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just some mindfulness tips or hacks or tricks. Some of the things that you can do to rebalance. Some people call them some coping skills or some, rebalancing, grounding technique. That's the word I was looking for. Some grounding technique. Some affirmations that you can say. And just so if you can go to our page, let's see if brother get some of the myths that according to the National Institutes of Health, nearly 1 in 3 of all adolescents ages 13 to 18 will experience anxiety disorder. So we uncovered some of the myths. So that's our brother right here. We want to thank our brother Cecil. He is LMSW. That's one of the highest marks that you can get, or stages that you can get in counseling for our people. A great job, brother Cecil. Hopefully, if the brother decides to jump on, we can also put in the chat. If you have some answers, if you have some questions for our brother. Great job, Cecil. Let's take that off the page. So yeah, we had a great time last week with brother Cecil. What we're going to do right now, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and talk about Black Lido. I was there personally and had a great time with all the vendors. We were at the Vibe Lounge. So everything, even though it rained, well, I'll get to that in a second. Even though we had some rain, it still worked out well. Listen, we'll be right back. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
All right, we are back. We're back. Let me fix my phone. What did I have to, let me fix this. This is live, so sometimes it doesn't go as planned. All right, good. We're back. This is the CSRN Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, and we're coming to you live from my branch library every Tuesday, 6 p.m. You can listen virtually, or if you decide that you might want to just drop in and watch us do this. All right. Hopefully, I'm not the only one here when that happens. But come on by, check us out, see what we're doing. Before I get to Black Lido, I want to mention our Nguzi Saba word of the day. It's Kujishagalia. That means self-determination. And that means to define ourselves, name ourselves, and create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. And that's what this weekend was about. I want to start first with Black Lido and then roll it back to Dr. Umar Johnson that was here in Toledo, and I'll go over some of the things that I got from that. First, let me bring up that flyer again. Wish I could have shared the official flyer, but hey, it is what it is. Hey, listen, this was going down on Saturday from 12 to 8, Black Lido. We were at the Vibe Lounge that's right at the corners of Angola and Reynolds. Everything was supposed to start at 12. However, give me one second. Everything was supposed to start at 12. However, and I hope my sound is being good. Give me one second.
Unlimited. I have a prepaid call from.
Hey, Brother Omar, give me 1 second. All right. We're going to, family, we're going to take a quick shift in our planning. We've got I said brother Omar, our big brother Omar. Look, we were just going to process brother Omar Johnson being in Toledo. However, we've got brother Omar Gent on the phone right now. How you doing, my brother?
Doing fine, real good, my brother.
All right. How's the sound? How's the audio sound on this call?
I can hear you very clear.
All right, great, great. Oh man, we cooking with gas. I just realized that I had a couple of other knobs not turned the way that I was supposed to turn them. So I hope that the people that are out there, I hope they were getting some really good audio. I didn't get anything back stating that it was different. So I think that I might have this thing together this week. I hope so. So here's what I wanted to ask you about. Before we even get started, this is our brother Omar Gent calling all the way from Colorado. This brother, like myself, is I was a confined citizen. This brother still is right now, and also he continues to organize and push for justice and equality. So, if you could, brother, for some of the people that may be streaming this for the first time, could you introduce yourself and really and let us know what is freeourbrothers.com?
No problem, my brother. Thank you for inviting me on and everybody who supports this platform. Thank you all. My name is Omar Jeremy Gent, born May 6, 1984. I'm just here to inform you people about the system of legal mass imprisonment that's not just affecting people in Colorado and or black males. It affects all people. I mean, the system goes into various jurisdictions, even other countries, and brings people back to serve time unlawfully, regardless of them being innocent or guilty. They weren't given due process of law. That's explained by freeourbrothers.com. We're being railroaded through the no indictment process, no valid charge, no valid felony charge. Basically, I'm in this struggle because, was commissioned by God for me to do this long before I was born. I realized that more and more each and every day, somebody got to step in the gap and bring a message to people.
Right. One of the things that I wanted to process with you is, man, for you, what are some of the blessings that you receive from doing this work? And what are some of the lessons that you receive from doing this work? Could you talk about that?
Yeah, brother, I've been thinking real hard about that, and the lesson and the blessing is still unfolding. First and foremost, I read something years ago. Honorable Minister Farrakhan, he said that you don't even know what type of man you are until you meet that woman that the Creator designed for you. And me being incarcerated, that was kind of hard for me to stomach at the time. I'm like, wow, well, no the woman I'm interested in
Right.
leaves me, you know. So I had to really accept that she was divinely commissioned to help point out flaws in my character, to help elevate me. That's been a lesson and a blessing. Just having that original woman, that beautiful black woman by my side, to teach me to hold the emotional stage with people, to slow down and to think beyond myself, to humble myself at times, to be patient, and being incarcerated, trying to relate to anyone is difficult, especially someone that's of the opposite sex and you have emotions and feelings for. So I've learned a lot, brother, just by having that in my life, that wonderful black woman.
Right. Now, for you, why is it important for you to rise above emotion? Most people will say that If I'm mad, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. But for you, why is it important for you to rise above your emotions?
Well, the enemy is the rise of our people. They've always, expected and, generally taught us through entertainment, miseducation, to be emotional based people, to be just reactionary, to just respond off of anger or sadness or fear, not to really think things through, and me being incarcerated, I mean, years ago, I used to have run-ins with straight, redneck police officers. And I noticed that they were trying to always get me off my square, get me angry, get me frustrated, so they can outtake me. Because once you angry, once you're riled up, somebody can say one little thing with verbal judo and throw you totally off and have you sabotaging yourself. So once I realized that I have to be in control of me in spite of my anger, my frustration, whatever's going on, I can slow down and think, and I can hear that voice of the creator who may be saying a moment, be still, be quiet, move out the way, do this, say this, So being in control of myself allows me to control the situation, even though I may not have full control, but control of myself means I'm not gonna let nobody play me like a puppet.
All right. Now, for you, how long have you been organizing? We've got freeourbrothers.com up on the screen. Let me scroll through some of the things on this page. All right. First, we got Help Build campaign in ways that they can sign a petition, spread the word. You can email someone. You can donate funds. This is an awesome website too, right? Now, I wanted to say, I don't know if it's just like this on my page, on my computer, but where it says, do you want to learn? Do you want to know more? That video is gone. I don't know what it is about that. Maybe they found out. I don't know.
I think if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, I heard it was at the bottom. I don't know if that's correct.
Okay, I'm scrolling all the way at the bottom. Yeah, I don't see it at the bottom. Right. Well, that's something we may have to come back on. How long have you been organizing? Because you could easily do your time like a lot of others are doing their time and just not say anything. All right. You could have easily done that, not made any noise, 3 hots in a cot, and jumped the bump. Um, how long have you been organizing like this? And what led you to actually doing the work there?
Well, my brother, the only thing, when I went to my sham trial, arrested without a warrant, the only thing like in that courtroom besides the judge's robe was me, and I looked around and I realized it was just a mockery of justice, a lynching, and I knew I was going to be, regardless of the fact that I was innocent of this crime, I knew I was going to be railroaded. And when I got convicted, I walked over and I told the DA that no matter what, I'm going to find a way to expose the corruption of not just my case, but other cases. And through the grace of Allah, it was brought. The situation, this legal facts that I stumbled across was brought to me in time, So that conversation with the district attorney, because when I walked over to him, they got scared. I thought I was going to jump on him or something. But I told him, I just, hey, you need to vacate this case. I knew he wasn't going to do it, but I warned him and I said, because you won't do it, I'm not going to focus on playing basketball or gambling or getting involved with drugs or homosexuality, the things that distract me in here. I'm going to focus on liberating myself and helping others. So I stuck to my word with the grace of Allah.
All right. One of our, every week we have our Nguzo Saba word of the day. And today it was Kuji Shagalia, which means self-determination. And that means to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. I wanted to ask you this, with all that you do, what do you do to stay balanced with all that you're doing there? Because it's different there. And I know that during my time, I wasn't advocating like that. I may have, jogged with the brothers from the Nation of Islam and, and study, but I wasn't about to make, you know, conference calls and, alerting people what's going on inside. Um, with all that you're doing, how do you stay balanced with doing what you're doing? How does that happen?
Well, first and foremost, I have to be in tune with the Creator. I have to open up that, the Holy Quran, the Bible, and I love the Final Call newspaper. I read every article from front to back. I make sure I get that paper in here because if they don't have my paper, it's a problem. We'll probably complain on them,
Yeah,
so they know.
absolutely.
I make sure that I physically exercise, and calling in and talking to you helps to keep you balanced. This wonderful platform, even though I can't see the people, but I can feel the energy, and that's very important to me
Well,
to reach
absolutely.
beyond this environment that's can be very stagnant at times, and hopeless if you don't have hope in the real ultimate power, just the Creator, and bringing people towards you. So just and making sure it's like you always a strong advocate of self care.
Yes, sir.
Make sure sometimes I take a break. Take a day or two off. Just sometimes get a little bit extra sleep, a little bit of extra water, a little bit extra fasting. Whatever I require in that moment. So these are big elements, and I encourage the people to self care and to love and support each other.
Right. It's Black August, and this is a month that we acknowledge our political prisoners. And we want to thank you, brother, for being at ground zero. You know, just everything that you're doing. I love it because this is something that I wish I could have done while I was there. So I'm trying to do my part by reaching back. All right, reaching inside and allowing people to hear your voice in real time, not reading a letter, not sending a message of what you told me, but allowing them to hear that there's more than one Omar. There's many of us there that are striving to improve ourselves. That if, if God allows us to leave, we're going to make a big difference, right? We're going to make a big difference. So, in closing, we have the Toledo Correctional Institution here in Toledo. I think there may be 3,000 inmates there. Could you give them a message of survival, a message of resilience that can keep them hopeful for the next day? What would you say to those brothers that are there?
One of the brothers is to always remember that, I keep coming back to this point that, everything we do is bigger than us. And they feel, because we're locked behind these cages behind, concrete and all this hatred and, that sometimes it's just you, but it's not you. It's what you do, you alone. What you're doing,
That's
it's
right.
going to echo beyond the walls, beyond
Right.
these bars, these courts, because once you set the energy in motion through the grace of Allah, it expands like a sound wave. It keeps going and going, way beyond than you can even imagine. So always remember that. And your Savior is of our people. Don't give up. And I like to salute you for what you've been doing, brother, because not to talk bad against anyone who may be struggling with staying in contact with the brothers and sisters on the inside. But it's very hard to find people that's going to reach back and actually do what they said they're going to do. And I want people to really think about that. Please don't abandon our brothers and sisters. I know people have things that's going on in your lives and pulled in, 48 different directions.
Yes, sir.
But if you can, just please slow down and keep your commitment to you made the brothers and sisters on the inside. Because that one word of this encouragement, that one microphone going into this abyss of darkness can bring a lot of light. It's very hard for people to find prisoners to find people that have the courage to do what you do, my brother. So I salute you. It wasn't your time back then, but you bringing it forward.
Yes,
and you're doing some very power revolutionary. So salute.
Luke, Hey, brother, before that timer comes off, we're going to go ahead and break right here. So, brother, I want to thank you. This is our brother Omar Gent and brother Revolutionary Salute. Shields up, brother.
Shield.
That's our brother Omar Gent, calling all the way from Colorado, Institute of Correctional Institute, which they don't correct it, all right? If you're there, if something happens that you're there, you should correct yourself because it's not their job. It's their job to warehouse you while you're there. It's their job to make you work for pennies for things that are outsourced on the street. But while you're there, brothers and sisters, um, take some time to improve yourself. Use that time wisely so that once you get out, you can make a difference in our community. Hey, family, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with Black Lido, our sister Alexia Sims, put together a dynamic um, event on Saturday, and I want to talk about that. And I want to also process Dr. Umar that was in town last Thursday. This is the CSRN Weekend Review Podcast. We'll be right back.
If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go. Bike Rides Matter, it's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter, just riding bikes, and we just decided it would be cool to add the community because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just like interact with people, especially during COVID. You still like have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to like see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we riding, we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN Week in Review, our weekly podcast where we come to you live from my library and we talk about some of the things we did last week. Some of the things that we're working on right now, which is the Educated Activist Saturday program that's coming up. We'll post that on the podcast soon. I'm not going to do it now. Where is it at? Okay, here we go. It's the Educated Activist Saturday program. It's going to be at the Frederick Douglass Center. Show up there. It's on our page. And also it has its own event page too. And that's our sister Ruth Leonard that's spearheading that. Educated Activist Saturday program. If you got some children, check out the page, read for yourself, and check that out. All right. Black Lido. This was a pop-up shop event organized by Alexia Sims and others. And it was supposed to be in the parking lot. And she wanted to invite at least 60 or more entrepreneurs and also community resource groups to be a part of that. So I thought that this would be a great idea to introduce people to CSRN, have some Final Call newspapers, have some other stuff there for, and also have our Black Lives Matter signs, our Defund Toledo PD signs. As you see, we have them right there. and they are $10 each. Go on our website, CSRN, and purchase one. I'll bring it right out to your house, just like that. So, unfortunately, the rain decided that, hey, look, you guys are not going to have this thing outside. So by the time I got there, and if Alexia is listening to this, I was on time, not the on time that I wanted to be, but I was on time enough. So I got there and they said, hey, look, everybody's going to be inside. So we had tables for everyone. Some people brought their own tables, but we had a table for me. Okay, that's what's up. So the whole event was inside the live lounge. I set up a table and I started doing podcasts with everyone that was there. If I could have a list of all the people that I did a podcast with, matter of fact, go to our page, CSRN. Let me put our page up while I'm talking. Let me put our page up so you can see for yourself all the people that I had we don't want that. Let's try this again. Black Lido was excellent. Mm. All right, that is Nika of Intune Fitness. This is what we have. This is our brother Darren from 360 The Turnaround. This brother has his own food truck. Now let's see who was next. Man, I can't remember this sister's name, but she had, she had all of these purses. Oh, Erin. Erin. Now let me run it down, and then I'm going to forget. This sister was a nurse, and she decided that she was going to forego being a nurse and just produce wigs, and she produced wigs for people that are suffering from cancer. Did an awesome job. Awesome job. And who was next? Who was next? A sister that had affordable clothes for children. Hey, affordable kids. Okay. Yeah. And she named the company after her son and her daughter. This is our sister. Was it Tebow? Tebow's popcorn. Look, this sister had some popcorn that was, I think it was strawberry crunch. I took it home. I dared anybody to touch it. Don't you touch it. So I want to get some more popcorn from that sister. Who else do we have? We also had our brother from the Junction Coalition, community organization that's transforming some things, and just so much that was going on. So much that was going on. So great job, everybody that I did a podcast with. And for Alexia, I did fill out the form, all right, and I sent you some of the things that I really liked about it. And I want to say this, that yeah, it rained, and instead of shutting it down and quitting, she decided that we were going to go inside. That was really quick thinking. Most people would have just said, hey, it's non-refundable. Sorry, can't do anything about the rain. So that was up. And she also plans on having another one soon. So great job, Alexia. And all of the vendors that I interviewed and community resource folks that I interviewed, go to our page, check them out, hit them up, and see all these amazing people that are doing some amazing work. All right, last but not least, Dr. Umar was in town on, let me bring that up. He was in town last Thursday. My sister Shannon Ribbon, saying it right, had invited him. The church welcomed him. It was nearly standing room only. There wasn't an empty seat. Brother brought it. All right. Anything that you could have ever wanted to hear, Dr. Umar said it. So great job, great job, great job, great job, great job for the whole church. Great job, Dr. Umar. He has some other things being planned that's going to happen with our sister Shannon. So really thank her and her whole family. Family, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with some loose ends, some of the things that I think I haven't said yet, but I need to say. So this is the Community Solidarity Response Network. Our weekly review. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. Hey, just wrapping some things up. One of the things that I want to make everybody aware of is the walk. I think it's happening next Saturday. All right, show up at Warren AME Church. We're organizing at that time. I think it's 8 a.m. To check that out, and particularly for us as men, we got to do better. Not only going to the doctor, we got to do better by the things that we eat and how much we eat. We got to do better by the things that we drink and how much. We got to do better, and it can start with just a walk. All right. So, hey, look, I'm not going to be there. I might, but I want to make sure that everybody knows that that's happening. And also, if you want to support CSRN, you can support us via Cash App and via PayPal. Follow us, friend us, like us, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us and like us on Facebook. Listen to us and stream us on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube and subscribe and like that page because I think that we get the least amount of traction on our YouTube. And why is that? We just haven't set that up like that. And also Twitter. We're going to try to get Julian to do a little bit more. Can I say tweeting? Yeah, I guess so. All right. So if you want to support CSRN and what we do, I really think our work speaks for itself. If you go through our page, we not only talk about it, but we are engaged in our community. And as I say, we outside. So what I want to do now is turn it over. We have our brother Jody Summers to come in with 5 minutes of heat, and it was in perfect time. I just finished my loose end. So hey, and I know Jody has a lot going on in the community, so hopefully he can add on to that. Hey, let's bring him in from the green room. That's a spacious green room. Obviously, somebody got to upgrade.
Well, I got a green room right here, kind of.
Okay, all right. Hey, how you feeling, bro?
Still alive, enjoying being a creator.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, listen, so far, so good with our podcast. I need to go back and check our sound. Today, the setup was flawless. However, for our first hour, I realized that I had the volume up on something that I shouldn't have, but I didn't get any comments. I didn't, yeah. But it's a learning experience. And I said, Jody, that I'm going to make some cue cards, some index cards. Don't forget this. Don't forget that. Turn this off. Turn this up. But hey, look, anybody that doesn't like the podcast, hey, we'll definitely give them.
Create your own. But I'll be back in a couple weeks. As soon as baseball season's over, I get my Tuesdays back. So, hey, it is what it is. I mean, we've been going since 2019. If there's
Absolutely.
hiccups and stuff or stuff people don't like, you can always send a sponsor check to
CSRN, Cash App, CSRN 419, cash tag CSRN 419.
Yep, it's like one of those stamps on the back of trucks. How's my driving? So if you want us to improve the quality and stuff, just let us know. We appreciate donations of all kind because we are constantly doing things in and around our community that doesn't require posting and doesn't require talking about it. But every dollar, every dime, every red cent helps to keep our movement alive.
All right. All right. Hey, that was pretty good there. Okay. All right. I see you. All right. All right. Somebody been working on something. All right. Hey, you do stuff with words anyway. All right. But
yeah, I just started the publication on the childhood trauma series, book 1.
Right. I saw you post that, and for let me ask you a couple of questions.
Yep.
Publishing, writing your own works, lots of the illustration. Man, one day I'd like to interview you. I'd like for you to be a guest and talk about that process from just writing on paper and having paper stapled together, asking people to take a look at it, to actually having a book.
I still remember year 1. It was very interesting to print out something and have someone tell you, I put this in my china drawer or china dresser or whatever, or I vacuum sealed this because it has your signature on it. Even at that point, with the first 30 manuscripts before I became published in book 1, it was a beautiful thing every day. Today, when I pull out my big blue tent or I'm at an event speaking, or even when somebody gets a wristband, although the wristbands and stickers I don't take pictures of, I learned to make receipts by taking photos of people because growing up, that was important. Somebody's signature saying that you met your favorite artist was important. A lot of people don't do it unless it's like an Uber celebrity. But to me, every single person that pours into me or invests into me by getting books, artwork, or now clothing, I appreciate that. And that's why I take pictures. So I remember, even if I never see you again, even if you never leave a comment on any of my book pages, I know for a moment in time, you believed in me.
That's right. That's right. All right. Hey, listen, were you involved either last week or the week before? Anything that you want to share before we get to 5 minutes of heat?
I was somewhat involved. I'm like, I guess, a cartographer or photographer for Google. So anything I'm at or involved in goes directly to the Google site.
Oh,
I
wow.
spend maybe an hour or 2 out of my day fact checking or uploading photos from places and events, like the Hoodstock event. Unfortunately, I couldn't make Black Lido because I've been here at work. Last week was Jeep Fest. I got one picture as I was walking to work, and the rest of the week I was here. So last week was kind of not a nothing week, but strictly work week. This weekend, I got some more stuff going on. I'm going to my first wedding from somebody I knew from college. He messaged me like,
I thought you was giving some breaking news.
no, that's
okay. All
that
right.
may never, ever happen. But
all right,
I'm content with that. But no, he messaged me up. It's like, hey, you're the only person I know from college, and would you like to be in my wedding? I said, yeah. That morning before the wedding, I'm going because I am an elected official. We have a city council central committee meeting, and I got to do that. And then I'm going to Detroit to sell some art, do some poetry, and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. I wish I could be at. I see the Vibe Lounge is doing well, the Bay, and some other areas. Also, shout out to Alexia for even attempting something like Black Lido on Jeep Fest Day. And the fact that you guys were there, and I hear a lot of people say, well, why are you doing it on the same day? Because there's only one Friday, Saturday in the week. And
That's
you can't
right.
really expect people to postpone things or not have things on a day where it's the week. That's the point of the weekend. You go to work all week if you have a job or whatever, and at the weekend you're supposed to have fun.
Right.
Uh,
And
we just
also,
happen to be the people you have fun at.
that's right. That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. And if you wanted to participate in a commercial for Fiat Chrysler or Stellantis, you could have just gone downtown and be a part of that. But we was
Yeah.
doing something for ourselves.
And I just heard recently some awesome news. I can't say which one, but
Okay.
also next week is the miniseries premieres at Mount Branch Library for Sons of Toledo.
Oh, absolutely.
But one of the movies I'm in is two more awards. Wait till that bike goes by. Two more awards from getting an Oscar now.
Okay.
Like,
All right. Okay.
I heard that yesterday, and out of all the things I do in between the shows, that's something I never expected.
All right. We got to give you some applause. We got to give you some applause and some.
Not just me, I'm just an extra in the movie.
Yes.
The star of the movie, the directors, the cast, the lighting, the grips, that to do stuff like that takes years. The Hollow Poem movie that I shot in 2019 just came out 2 weeks ago. So people hear, oh, I just did this music video and stuff or movie. It might be another year or two before it gets released, but you have to hold on to that same excitement as when you were
That's right.
shooting because it's
That's
important. Just like with activism, um, things after the march, after the protest, after the whatever demonstration you do could take years to manifest. So you have to be diligent in having that same. That's why I don't believe anger or being mad at something is a sustainable way to live, because you can't be angry for 2, 3, 5 years. You have to find a reason and a purpose, like we have at 7 going on 8, to help your community.
all right. Beautiful.
Anything I missed in the recaps of stuff?
No, I think that we pretty much covered everything from Black Lido to Dr. Umar coming to town. Oh, one thing that we didn't mention is for Black August, our next page takeover will be our brother Rob Pasker, and he's going to come on and talk about the benefits of home ownership and how easy it can be. So we hope to have that brother come on, and he's going to be doing our he's going to be taking over our page while he's on his way back from, I think he's on his way back from Chicago. So he's going to be doing double duty. So I told him, hey, look, no texting or doing Facebook Lives while you're driving. All right. Yeah, we're going to line him on up.
But that'll be good. Again, our page reach is a lot bigger than your individual person because we are involved in so many things. So hopefully he'll find some new clientele and some people to
Absolutely.
get their first home. I'm really looking forward to that because, as I put in my poem that I wrote for Sonia Ramel, the broken clock, which is how much longer will we keep waiting for a handout to get a hand up?
Right.
Ownership, whether it's a house, a business, even your own name, because some artists, they sign contracts and they don't own their name no more. That's one sneaky thing about the industry they won't tell you. But that is very important because it gives you something to pass down to future generations.
That's
It's
right.
valuable beyond measure because it should, if done properly, will outlive you.
All right. All right. Hey, listen, I see everybody. I'm looking at the feet going the other way in the Mott Branch
Okay.
Library.
So today, speaking of the book that will be out September 15th. If I could do an early release, the 1st to the 7th. I'm also going to Chicago to try and take this Grammy from Chicago and bring it back to Toledo.
Yes, sir.
Your childhood trauma series is going to be something special. This one is number 18 from that series of poems called Honest Ear. So, everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
So, let's begin. Peace. Honest Ear. A lie travels much faster than the truth. It has to, because it can only live by those who are willing to spread it. The truth is an undeniable fact. It doesn't need anyone to believe it exists, because itself is the only proof it needs. A lie travels much faster than the truth, spreading like wildfire to those who want to seem important and have a piece of information with no source or substance. Truth can patiently wait out until it is found, because only those willing to dig a little deeper, ask questions, and search for solutions will be the only ones to gain the knowledge of this treasure. The lie travels much faster than the truth, akin to the tortoise and the hare, full of pride, wasteful with energy, and truthfully has nothing to prove by reaching the finish line. So it's only as fast as the next person willing to believe it. Truth keeps a consistent pace. The finish line is just another milestone for it to reach on its journey. So it's in no rush to collect any trophies for being what it is. And history has already retold of how that race ended. A lie travels much faster than the truth, because it needs you to accept it. It doesn't have time to convince you with the backstory or show you proof of what it is trying to tell you, because there is none. And if you question its motives, it will quickly crumble. Truth has time. It can wait out any lie that wants you to believe it, because it is the proof. Truth can show you consistent actions over a lengthy amount of time, because it has nowhere to go, and it is capable of communicating openly with you any questions you may have. A lie travels much faster than the truth, but it has no substance. There is no weight behind the actions and no foundation for it to stand on. So it's off to the next ear who believes it, whichever the wind may blow. Truth has girth, substance, density, and a foundation which is steadfast against all those who try and deceive it, standing strong against any storm that tries to destroy its integrity. A lie travels much faster than the truth, but that doesn't mean it always wins the race. In peace.
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful, brother. And what's the name of that piece again?
Honest Ear. It's number 18 out of the series of 30.
Yes, sir. That's dynamic. That's dynamic. Hey, family, listen, we are about to close this down. So, what I wanted to do is our solidarity pledge. I'm going to say I, and of course, Jody, you'll say I and repeat after me. Tell me when you're ready.
Anytime.
All right. Hey, say I.
I,
Your name.
Jody,
Pledge to strive.
pledge to strive.
Love my brothers and my sisters
To love my brothers and my sisters
as I love myself.
as I love myself.
I.
I,
Your name.
Jay Summers,
Pledge to strive.
pledge to strive.
To study to improve myself.
To study to improve myself.
Spiritually.
Spiritually.
Mentally.
Mentally.
Morally.
Morally.
And physically.
And physically.
For the benefit of myself.
For the benefit of myself.
My family.
My family.
And my people.
And my people.
I.
Your
name.
Child of the system.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
to be a part of the solution,
to be a part of the solution,
the process,
and
not the problem.
not the problem.
I,
Your
name,
spoken truth,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive,
to give all that I could spare
to give all that I can spare
of my time,
my
strength, and energy to achieve the above said. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's our solidarity pledge. I should have put that up. All right. There. That's our solidarity pledge for tonight. And as always, Jody, it was awesome having you here. It was awesome also hearing honest ear. Honest ear. That's number 18. All right. Of 30. So make sure you check our brother out online. And as always, Jody, all lives can't matter until Black
lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.